Don't try to sneak into your room like that. I know what you've got behind your back. Records. More new records.
All right, this is day one of the Pacific Audio Fest here in Seattle by the Sea-Tac airport. I'm trying a whole new system of recording at this show, so I hope this works well. I'm using a gimbal and I'm using a portable. And there's Mr. Jason Serenas, who I will say hello to. I will say hello to Jason.
Hi.
Hi, Jason. How are you?
I'm good.
Randy, how are you, man?
I'm good. Good to see you.
Good.
I wanted to say hello.
Hi.
I've been a fan for a long time.
Oh, cool.
My name is Steve. I'm from Redmond.
Ah.
And I avidly read your column.
Oh, nice to
Watch
meet
your
you.
videos, so it's great to see you.
Well, I've moved, you know.
Have you?
Yeah, I'm at the Absolute Sound now.
Well, that's going to be a reason I'll be over there.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
Thank you.
Going with Angie? Yeah. Good.
Hey, man.
Hey, how are
Mama
you?
tried. She did.
Mama
She
tried.
did well. Did well.
She did
good.
okay.
Yeah.
She could have done a little better.
Yeah.
I got to tell you.
Okay, enough of the socializing. I got to get covering this show.
All right.
All right.
Good to see you.
See
Be
you.
strange.
It's always the fun part of it. So we have the guy with his waffles here that he puts under things.
They are tasty.
I know that they work. I know. And here's Mr. J.R. Boyclair, who's taken over for me and doing turntable setup seminars, and you know I'm comfortable with that. I'm good with that.
I'm glad. Thank you for handing over the reins.
Yeah, no, I haven't handed over any reins. I'm just comfortable with you doing it too, because I know you know what you're doing, so that's always a good thing. All right. So this gentleman was written about in Stereophile, where I used to work, and so your hearing is not very good.
Well, 85 decibels.
Yeah.
And anytime the vibration in the room is above 70 decibels, the balloon will pick it up. And so that way I can feel the vibration from.
And you can enjoy music that way.
Pardon?
You can enjoy music.
Yes.
You hear
much more with the minor and the balloon.
And it comes in and fills your head with music.
Actually, it activates my auditory cortex. So I wouldn't bring the. I should have a memory of what sang was.
Yeah.
My brain is mapping the tactile vibrations.
Yeah.
That auditory memory. And my brain hears the sensation of sound. I can tell the difference between different instruments.
Let's see that. And so you're gonna go into rooms and hold the balloon and do your thing. Well, that's just
Like that.
yeah. That's just incredible. You speak very well. You speak better than a lot of people who have really good hearing. And that's
Okay, I wanted to give you this article about how tactile listening works.
okay.
So that way you can understand the mechanics of the ear. The fingers are very similar. Keep this for yourself.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Good to meet you, my
Thank
friend.
you. Nice to meet you too. This is fantastic. Thank you. Enjoy the show. All right. So this is the initial J-Sakura turntable. These are made in Poland, and I will say that these are really good turntables and seriously underpriced for what you get. You get a lot of value for these turntables. This is not my favorite idea. I think this is nuts. But I understand everybody's got their different ideas about how these things work, and not for me. And so, what frequency are you using?
This one is 48,000,
48K.
higher than before. Before we're using 35,
Yeah.
35K. Yeah. So the clean more precisely and also lower noise. So if that machine on, you hear not much noise.
And with your machine, you dry this by hand with it?
No, this one is capable of do the spin drying. You see now the shroud is on it. This is a step motor. You see the bearing here?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, the bearing on both ends. The step motor is run by a computer program. Right now it's running at 10 RPM, low speed for cleaning.
Okay.
But you can also run it up to 600 RPM for spin drying. You drain the water out through the hose.
Oh, so you have to drain the water first, yeah.
Otherwise, you have water.
Yeah,
You
of course.
cannot spin it.
And will it really spin dry, or will it spin mostly dry?
You put the shroud on it.
The Shroud of Turin. And what is that? What do you sell this machine for?
$9.99.
Oh, $9.99. Okay.
Yes, very good price. Cheaper than the
See,
our
Lucas. Okay. So you were manufacturing the original Altec drivers using the original tools and dies and all.
Yes.
Where did you get those from? You bought
I
them?
bought them from Altec. I worked there for 18 years before we closed.
Ah.
And when we closed, I didn't know what I was an engineer then. I didn't know what I was going to do for a living, so I didn't want to move from Oklahoma. So I decided, well, I'll go ahead and do repair business. It was just repairs.
Yeah.
And then since I had all the parts, people asked me, well, can you make the whole speakers? And I said, well, sure, I guess I can. So I just started building the whole speaker.
And you have to have a machine shop to make it.
Right. Yeah, good example. Like this, the frames, this cast aluminum frame.
Yeah.
I own the tooling, but I have a foundry make it for me because you can only do so much.
Yeah.
And then all the machining for the steel parts, I have vendors that make it.
Sure, of course.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Makes sense. You're supplying this to the guy in Brooklyn who's doing.
Oh yeah, Devin.
Yeah. All right, cool. This is great. Thank you. Thank you very much.
You have a good day.
Bye bye. Okay, so this is Peter Chun. Am I pronouncing your name? John?
Chun.
Okay, so he's the KL Audio guy. Claudio KL Audio, however you want to pronounce it, and he's making this again. Look at this. This is a beautiful thing.
Again, restarting. We will update the model.
And this has a tank inside or outside?
No, outside.
It's outside now. Okay, like mine has outside. Yeah.
Outside is much more beneficial for long term.
Yep. For many reasons.
Yeah.
All right.
Many reasons. Also, including autoloader, silencer, all restarting.
Let's close the door. Oh, that's much better.
Under 50 DC dBA.
It looks like a jukebox. That's the coolest thing about it. It looks like it should play the records also. All right, great. And how much? So you can add this to the regular machine. You just add this.
The optional.
Yeah.
Optional.
And what does this?
This is about $1,800.
It's got to be more than $1,800. It's only $1,800.
This is $3,000.
Okay, $3,000 for the mechanism.
Yeah, for a mechanism.
Which you can use without this.
Yeah.
And $1,800 extra.
Yeah. $1,800.
Yeah. That's still not bad. You know, that's still pretty good. Yeah. If you're doing this on an industrial level, yeah, that's great.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you.
This display, then there is real product.
Yep. Oh, you made it in gold.
2 color, gold and silver. Nickel color. Also, I finally made a turntable.
Oh.
This is my turntable, new design, but still prototype. But basically, full levitate with magnet levitate, without any bearing.
No bearing?
No bearing.
You haven't found your bearings yet. I see.
No bearing. Fully levitation under heavy platter.
So if there's no bearing, what is it spinning on?
Bearing.
There's a bearing. There's got to be a spindle bearing that it's spinning on.
I will show you this one.
Okay.
This one fully levitate.
I see.
Which is strong magnet.
I see.
This is a magnet.
Okay. And none of the magnetic flux, pardon the expression, gets into the cartridge. It doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't matter for this long distance.
Okay.
And the motor and actual wheel is inside. Is 2 servo motor. And magnet coupling.
Oh, I see. I got you.
Magnet coupling.
Yeah.
This whole system levitate with a strong magnet.
And there's no cogging of that system as it turns. There's no like.
Yeah, no struggling. Then without any this part is no bearing. Fully suspended.
And what are you planning on selling this for?
I don't know yet, but my goal is $65,000.
Okay.
Also, another main feature is cramping, auto cramping. When you back, starting play, cramping, automatic play.
What does that do? So that's
mechanically running without any vacuum.
So you put, in other words, you put this ring on top.
Yeah, ring on top. It's the same thing as like an outer ring.
So you put the outer ring on there before the
Yeah.
platter starts turning, and then.
No need to outer ring, clamp. And then back to home position, then all release.
And then you lift it off.
Yeah, lift it off.
You lift off just the record. Oh, it wasn't okay. So put the record back. No, now.
Record back.
Okay.
And playing, cramping, play.
Oh. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now in your final machining, it's not going to look like this, right?
Right.
It's not going to be.
This is the first prototype.
It's a little waves going.
Yeah, little bit. But
and you can put any arm you want on this. You can,
right. Second arm.
65,000 with your arm or with no arm? Without an arm. Okay.
Arm is separate. Arm is current price $20,000.
Wow, that's very ambitious. You're a very ambitious guy. And what is this?
This is an adapter for record cleaner. It's the same old one. 10-inch adapter, 7-inch adapter.
Oh, it's an adapter for.
Adapter for record cleaner.
I see. Okay. So that's for 10-inch, and that's for the.
Yes.
I see. And what is this? What does this adapter cost?
I'm not sure. Maybe about $200 something.
Oh, that's not bad. Is there a special discount price for me? No, just kidding.
During the show,
Okay.
we are 25%.
Okay, that's great. All right, great.
70.
Okay. Thank you, Peter.
Thanks so much.
Here we have a furniture maker making beautiful furniture. And where is this manufactured?
You're in Washington.
You're in Washington.
Yeah, just a few miles away.
And where does the wood come from? Czechoslovakia?
No, we haven't imported that far. That's kind of a hot area right now. This is all from Washington, Oregon.
That's what I would figure. I'm just kidding. You know,
Of course, I know.
It's a lot of wood around here. I'd be surprised if you actually went elsewhere.
But that is to be said, though, that area has affected the prices of plywood. So this is all from Washington, Oregon, FSC certified. This is no formaldehyde, wood veneer core, so that it has that durability and can last a lifetime. It's made to be flat packed. So we have these fasteners on the inside.
So what does a piece like this cost right here?
So this is $750. That's a great question. $700 for this.
Get that.
$700 for the maple.
Oh, really? That's very reasonable.
Yeah, $75 for the maple 25s, $100 for the walnut 25s.
Oh.
And then these are $750 and $650 for pre-finished things. The beauty of this, what I was saying, is that it has these fasteners. And all you need is a 5mm hex key.
Yep.
And you can put it together.
Oh, good. Okay, so we like to give people some press.
Yeah.
So this is mosquitofleetdesign.com. And they make fine audio furniture for recording studios and for home. For home use. Okay, great. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So this is a company that's been around for decades doing this, and it worked decades ago, and it still works.
It still works almost exactly the same. So a few little refinements, but
yeah, cool. What's iconoclastic about what you do? And so you are associated with Belden itself?
Yes. Well, I worked for Belden for 35 years.
I see.
Retired.
Okay.
And then I got a job with Lou Hinkley Cable marketing Iconoclast because Belden, of course, does not know how to market cable to end users. They basically sell cable for construction.
Right, exactly. They're not on a consumer level.
Right. They don't know what to do at a consumer level.
Right.
So I tell you what.
And they let you use the name.
Well, because it is by Belden.
Yeah.
I mean, Belden's proud of the cables. They just don't market to this kind of an audience.
Right.
And I said, hey, I'm an audiophile. I'm going to retire. How would I work with Blue Jeans? And we market them, and you make them, which is why it's called Iconoclast.
Oh, I'm interested in this. And these are reasonably priced. There's no snake oil involved.
Well, depends on what you're comparing. Some people say these are really cheap, and some people say these are really expensive.
Yeah, it depends relative to the. Okay, our standard lengths are 10.
Yeah.
$10?
Like 10 feet.
Oh, 10 feet.
Yeah.
Be very careful using numbers like our standard cables are 10. 10 what? So when you design a speaker cable, you're paying attention to inductance, capacitance, and
Yeah, you actually get a test report with every cable we make that shows exactly what your assembly really tested to.
we like that.
All right. Now,
Is this your most expensive?
That's the most expensive
yeah,
speaker
there's
cable.
Series 2.
So what does this cost
It's about $2,400 right there. That's
for a pair?
For the pair.
A 10-foot pair.
10-foot pair.
And who terminates these? Belden terminates these?
No, the assemblies are by Blue Jeans, so that's where Blue Jeans comes in. Belden just makes
That's
the
my name
bulk
right
cable.
there. I made these.
Okay,
Yeah. So Belden
that's
makes
a
the bulk.
difficult job, isn't
Yeah,
it?
so check this
People
out.
think it's so easy
This
to.
is what the inner each conductor is, right?
Oh,
So this ends up being about 400 individual wires. I gotta hand strip every single one of those.
Yeah,
with your teeth.
Well, we have an automated process here, but
Hey, that's a secret.
well,
Okay, to terminate this set, how
That
much?
took me about 4 hours total to build that.
It's gonna. So that's not that much money, but you charge more than $15 an hour.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
most of our cost is really how Belden sets the
Yeah.
pricing.
Where's Belden located?
we're in Richmond, Indiana.
And do they supply cables for a lot of different companies that market them with their own name on cables?
Oh, over the years, we have supplied cable to.
I mean, hi-fi cables.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We private label them for a lot of people.
Yeah,
They'll have
yeah.
us make them, yes. But we've never made our own cable. Now the thing with these, the reason Belden will market these is, first of all, I designed them, and I designed them to the actual physics and how things really work.
Right.
If you go out to the Iconoclast website, I got all the white papers out there that explains in gory detail why the cables are made the way they are and how they actually measure and calculate. So the design is first, how they sound actually is second, believe it or not. And that's kind of opposite the normal audio file.
And you find when you design it properly, when you insert it, it sounds better. Yeah. Yeah.
But that's backwards of how a lot of the audiophiles think. They think sound is always first and the design's meaningless and there's this magic going on.
Fair enough.
There is no magic. Yeah. It's just called how meeting the electricals is difficult because I can write down the electricals I want to meet, but that's not a design.
Right.
Then you have to figure out a design that will actually meet what you put on paper.
Okay. And
we actually have two product lines. Iconoclast is the best of the best. Then we have the BAV product line, which stands for Belden Audio Video. That's where we try to do the trickle-down technology out of the upper quality product line. And we take this and turn it into this, but these cost like 1/5 as much.
I see.
All right, so we kind of have three steps of products in Blue Jeans. We got the standard Belden product,
right.
We have the BAV line, then you have the Iconoclast product.
Do you have an explanation for why AC cables make such a big difference? Because they do. I don't care what anybody says.
Well, plenty. If you look at the open short impedance of these cables with respect to frequency, they're vastly different in terms of how the impedance behaves.
Yeah.
And analog is all about the impedance match. Like if you look at a speaker cable, you're going to have the impedance open short of the cable that has to match the speaker.
Yeah.
Speakers have
all over the place. Yeah,
all over the place.
Of course.
Well, you got a cable that wants to be 8 ohms. It can't be. And then you got a speaker that's not 8 ohms either, but you want it to be.
Right.
You have a massive network.
Reflections. Yeah.
Then your amplifier doesn't like to drive reactance. Well, what's a cable and a speaker? Reactance.
Right.
So when you put the cable into an amp and a speaker, you create a different reactive network. You're going to get different results. Some people will favor the results, some people won't. But well, yeah, it's based on purely on the data. And then everyone says, well, that means I'm guaranteed to like your cable. And I said, no. Well, we actually have taken the price of these on the manufacturing floor at Belden, and we've got them from $7,000 literally at the start, all the way down to the 2,000 range.
Right.
The whole concept was to make introductory cables that are truly well designed, affordable for 80% of the audiophiles out there.
Right.
The guy that has a pair of entry-level Paradigm speaker, a nice Class D amp, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Yep.
And he wants a set of high-quality interconnects that test well, but he only has, say, $1,000 to spend on cable. That's our market, really. Nobody else sells a cable with TPC copper, for instance. That's kind of the antichrist, so to speak, to audiophiles.
Yeah.
But it isn't. It's the design that makes these cables work well.
Yes. Yes.
The copper matters.
Yeah.
But it's the design way more than the copper.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, our entry-level high-end cable, this is TPC copper in here. And I got this in a system at home, and I got $250,000 in my crazy stereo at home, and these sound utterly fantastic. Exactly
So it's
how I made
Iconoclast cables, one word, cable or cables?
Iconoclastcable.com.
Cable.com. Okay. Thank you, Galen Gerais?
Gerais, yeah.
I pronounced it fairly right? Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you. This guy helped me get electricity that's so good that I will say that when my former, who I worked with at another magazine, came over to measure a huge Griffin amplifier, he measured the full output. He ran the amplifier at full output, and he said, "This is the first time I've been here where the voltage did not drop at all.
Sweet.
At all.
Sweet. It shouldn't.
Well, it shouldn't, but it used to." And then someone else came over who I won't mention, and he's pretty experienced. He's been in a lot of places. He said, "This is the quietest room I've been in. It's so quiet." And it used to be the noisiest room.
Yeah.
We're talking about not the room acoustics. We're talking about the electricity. It's amazing. So Rex, you're the real deal. And what is it? What are you?
So check it out. This is actually the panel that I put in your place. It's just a stock square D panel. I kind of got rattle.
This is the one I have now.
This one you have now. This is all aluminum grounds. It's all aluminum neutrals. That's just the way they come. That's the only way you can get them stocked.
Okay.
This is tin plated copper bus, but it's got tin on it.
Okay.
I'm now taking, and I'm going to be at your place in not too long.
That's the one that I have sitting in a box.
And replace your panel. This now has been changed to copper. I don't let you use the aluminum. I take this out. This is still aluminum. I'm not going to mess with the basic foundation of the thing. But then
so you put
I've taken the neutral bar out and used a square D neutral, replace that as a copper bar.
Oh.
I've got a square D ground bar. It's also copper. I also get into these grounds where I'm anticipating you using them, and I hone out the tin. So you're a copper on copper contact.
Oh.
I get into here too on the busing. I'm putting copper onto here. I'm getting rid of the tin plating where these are mating, and I'm getting rid of the little bit of tin plating on the sides when you're bolting.
So you're modifying the square D panel that comes in.
I'm getting it, yeah. I'm taking one and I'm using square D parts to improve upon the thing and make it. And polymers, I got two different types of polymers. So this changes from much more.
And does that really make a difference? Does that really do anything sonically? Okay. Is it just to gild the lily, just to finish it off, just to make the final? Just because?
I have listened hard to receptacle boxes and stuff like that, and you can sonically hear some are better than others. They like a damp, anti-resonant behavior around them. So I've applied that to here. I put this panel in a house that I also do the same damping to under the rails in here and on the support structure. This is the square D2. This is just another level up. I mean, it's 1.25 inch copper bus bars. It's silver plated on here, so there's nothing to do. I get you with stake-on connections. I make all copper. I polish the copper.
And is there any effect on its being legal, or it doesn't affect?
No, these are all NEC UL parts. We've done it in the field for years, taking the lugs off of here and using a compression lug.
I want to say to people watching this who may be laughing at this and saying, "You're nuts," and what is this going to affect? Let me tell you something at home. If you don't think this makes a difference, you're nuts. You're nuts, and you need to. If you put a power conditioner on the other end of this, where your plugs are, and you think you're solving the problem, trust me, you're not. You're just doing something to cover it up. The problem starts at your roof if you have a house. Of course, if you're in an apartment, it's a whole different situation. But the problem starts at your. Now, is this the cable I have in my?
Garth made this cable for you. I have then studied and learned how to grain orient my own. So it's basically how Garth has taught me. I'm taking THHN 100% UL listed label legal wire. You have your electrician run it in this, they call it Smurf tube, but it's electrical non-metallic tubing, easy to run.
And the people who don't believe, who think that's nonsense also, they just don't, they've never tried it. And then they'll say, well, if you don't double blind test it, you will not.
I blind test it multiple times over a week of time. I will listen to it in a tool that I manufactured. I will make which way I believe is right, and I'll mark it down on a computer page. And I'll walk away for a day or two, and I come back and I do this 4 or 5 times, and I always get the same answer. I've never not, out of 40 or 50 times doing it, I've never not got where I get fallacies and say wrong way.
And we're talking about Garth Powell at AudioQuest, and Garth did a demo at CES one year where the only thing he changed, he didn't say what you're going to hear. He just said, well, here, I've got this ground wire, this green ground wire. I'm going to play you a trumpet recording. Now I'm going to reverse the ground wire.
Yeah.
Just reverse the direction of the ground wire. I play it again. And it wasn't like, oh, I better double. No, it was like clear that there was a difference.
You hear it.
Clear.
You very much hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Crazy.
I orient all three of them: the ground, the neutral, and the hot. This
Yeah.
end says panel. The other end says receptacle.
And
your
then-
electrician
and-
just basically pulls from the panel to the
Yeah.
receptacle.
And then you wind. This is.
I twist. So then I built this. I built a pretty intricate bobbin that has 310 gauge, the neutral, the ground. And
So you
phase
test
wire.
each one of those wires separately,
Yeah.
and then orient them, and then wind
I
them.
might have to spool one off and change the direction.
Yeah.
'Cause like this one, the black was different from the white and the green, so I had to unspool the black onto another spool. Then I put all three on the bobbin, and then I have a pulling machine, and I basically spin the wire and spin it about one twist every 2 to 2 and 3 inches, somewhere in there. And you know, it's $5 a foot, dude. That's not a lot of money for the fact that you know for $100 a spool for the wire just to start with, and all the time it takes to figure out the direction.
Yeah. Well.
And it's legal.
Yeah. Great. Thank you. I hope I'll see you soon. You feeling better?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good for you. Okay. I'll see you soon. And there's the indefatigable. There's a word I don't know how you pronounce that word, but that's what you are.
Yes.
Very, very snappy. Very snappy
and this
shirt.
is the first time no lab coat because I lost it, so I got my beautiful shirt from Hong Kong in the mail yesterday.
How do you lose your lab coat?
It gets misplaced in a FedEx box.
Oh, really?
It's somewhere.
Oh, that's too bad. All right. Anything new to show me, or just
Well,
don't you have a new adaptation of this?
Yeah, we have a new system coming out. It'll be, unfortunately, with the supply chain, it'll be coming out next quarter, next year, first quarter next year. Same machine, different machine with different timers and whatever, because we're now interested in doing our restoration of Edison cylinders.
Not in this machine.
No, not in this one.
And so, what is the frequency that you use here is?
I use 35 kilohertz with a 70 kilohertz resonance.
And what's the power?
The power, basically, that's interesting. There's misnomers of power. People say I have 200 watts, I have 400 watts.
Right.
What they are actually doing is measuring the current consumption of the total unit.
I see.
My heads are 40 watts. That's it. And I have 3 of them.
Right.
But you have to run the motor, you have to run the electronics, you have to run the transducer power supplies. So we're 300 watts total consumption.
Okay, but that's an irrelevant number for all.
It's an irrelevant.
It's like
that's all, you know, it's
nonsense.
all hocus pocus.
Nonsense.
And it's the same thing where, Michael, you know, I appreciate you because you asked the 5 W questions: who, what, when, where, why.
Right.
And when you're using an ultrasonic has to have contact. You see these 3 elements down here?
Right.
You need to have contact with metal to the water to create that acoustic sound.
Right.
Ultrasonics, and I've proven to you, they're all bubblers. They are touching plastic. The plastic is not a medium to handle the cavitation and creating that element. So that's why they're bubblers. They're actually the water is touching the element itself. And to your question of the industry and snake oil, I have bought an Ortofon TC3000 for you, or whoever. And what that is, it was made in the 80s by Ortofon, and it is a cartridge analyzer.
Yes, I've seen those.
And you put a piece of paper in there, and it will then give you a whole printout from the impedance of the tone arm, cabling, to the weight, that in my instance is to show to you and your readership that before Kermis it's XdB, and after Kermis on an Ortofon test record,
that's a really good,
which comes with it, it will show why.
That is really good.
So that will help everyone.
How long ago did you buy this?
I just ordered it. It's coming from the Netherlands.
Okay, because somebody had one for me, and I said, I'll take it. And then before he could get it for me, somebody bought it out from under me. Maybe it was you.
No, I don't think it's
I don't think it was you either.
No, but I did that because you, again, were asking questions. And everyone is afraid, in my industry sector, of talking zeros and ones.
Right.
There's no gray area. It's just like the aluminum foil test again.
Yeah.
You know, it's the standard test, and if you're telling me you have a 40 kilohertz sonic, who cares about the power? It dimples.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't dimple, it's not using cavitation.
Okay.
So.
How you doing there?
I'm doing good. Very beautiful.
Good. Thank you.
And so you had to start over from the beginning to make these things, right? There was no.
Yeah, we make every bit of this. The carbon fiber we make ourselves. We don't buy the pre-made plate in Japan. All of these are carbon fiber flanges. It's just over the top of this. We just put finishes on these. But even the hubs are our own.
Is that 3D printed, or you have tool and you?
No, this is all industrial.
Wow.
Yeah, to cut to this precision. This is made in a shop that's ISO 9000 certified. These things are accurate in every measurement to 0.002 of an inch everywhere.
And so you feel that the tape thing has come back to the point where this is a viable thing to do and you can make money at it?
It's a hobby.
It's a hobby. Okay. And your real job is making money at something else.
I do. Yeah, I'm a tech guy, tech exec.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, thanks.
Les Davis is an inventor, fabricator from Australia. These are our constrained layer vibration control blocks that work extremely well. Unbelievable. The basic idea is, of course, drain and isolation.
Yes.
But all the drain goes into here. You're isolating some floors and whatever, so your system is truly isolated.
And what do these cost?
Oh,
just
retail is $88 on the blocks.
Okay. Where would someone buy something like this?
Oh, from Ocean Audio.
Where's Ocean online?
Online, ocean-audio.com.
Okay. All right. Why don't you run through what the tools you have here are and what these do?
Okay. Well, these are the two main tools right here: the Wally tractor and the Wally skater. Wally tractor, it sets overhang and cantilever alignment on any tone arm, including a tangential tracking tone arm.
Right.
And very important to have a mirrored surface to remove parallax error when you're aligning the cantilever. Now, all of your efforts here are for nothing if your tone arm is going to screw up your alignment, which is what this tool is for, the Wally skater. This makes sure, essentially, that your tone arm doesn't screw up your alignment elements. And you'd be shocked at how often that happens.
I'm not shocked because I've seen it. And people should know that this also allows you to kind of diagnose what the friction level is in your arm in the lateral direction, and sometimes you can discover some bad things going on there that you can't otherwise.
That's right.
Okay, run through. And also, this thing lets you, the Wally tractor lets you align in two different modes for old records and new records. Explain why that is and how that is.
So we did an analysis. I had always suspected that the innermost groove of records was getting further and further away from the spindle. So I decided to do a count. So I counted 1,300 record sides, and then I documented the results based on musical genre, year of production, and what I found was after 1990, productions after 1990, there was a statistically significant increase in the distance, the minimum distance of that last modulated groove from the center of the record.
Now, why is that? Why they're not cutting it as hot, or they're cutting it in a different way, or?
That's a good question. Well, one, with the advent of 45 RPM records, that's for sure one of the reasons.
But on 33s.
Yeah, I don't know why. Even on 33s, I was finding that there's this gravitation to get further and further away from the groove.
Which is good, actually.
Yes, because what it does is it creates an opportunity for us to apply Lofgren and Baerwald formulas to a new surface area, a shorter surface area.
Right. And so for newer records, you're setting the inner null point at what?
So the inner null point is about it's about an 8 millimeter difference. It goes outward by about 8 millimeters. So the effective result is the improvement on the tracking, the tracing error, is the same difference as if you had gone from a 9-inch arm to a 12-inch arm.
Oh.
Yeah. Same percentage.
And if you play an older record where it goes further in, how much of a deleterious effect does that have? If you set it up for the newer.
Yeah, so if you set up for the new record collection alignment and you play an older record that goes all the way to the IEC minimum of 60 millimeters, what you will get is you'll get a slight shrinking of the soundstage. The imaging will become a little less precise.
Yes.
And the high frequencies will become a little less natural, a little less extended.
Yeah.
It's not going to sound like mistrack.
Right. I've never found that to be the case.
At all.
Yeah.
It's just a little less of everything.
Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you. Have a good seminar Sunday. I'm not going to be here Sunday, so I can't.
All right.
The original Kronos turntable. Well, these guys are doing sound absorption and diffusion technology for, looks like, for studios and for homes.